It's been some time since I've made a practically pointless, usually useless, yet fun what-if type of video, so let's get one out there, shall we? Recent tweaks to the game have made it so Warley's buffs apply to Walter's slingshot, so today I'd like to explore the possibilities there. That said, I do believe the biggest takeaway from this pseudo father and son duo is going to be their impact on Walter's defense overall. But before we get there, however, you should probably know how to even begin. For you see, throughout this video, we will attempt to make as much use of Warley seasonings as possible. Garlic powder here leads to players taking 33% less damage when taking a hit. Honey crystals speeds up mining, chopping, and hammering. Chili flakes increase our damages by 20%, and seasoning salt increases the health value of dishes by 25%. So as you can guess, only two of them concern us here today. By the by, both garlic and the peppers needed for chili flakes are farmable crops, so you will need to grow one or two, feed them to a caged bird for their specific crop seeds, and then proceed to farm more of each if you truly want to stay on top of helping our newest Boy Scout survivor here. And in case it isn't obvious, or one has never even played Warley before, you use the portable grinding mill to create your desired seasoning, and then proceed to use the portable seasoning station to actually apply the buff to any crock pot dish of your choice. And the key phrase there is crock pot dish, mind you. So now you have the basics. Let's just talk. Rather, let's progress, shall we? When Walter takes health damage, he in turn takes double that to his sanity. So in this case, a spider deals 20 health damage to an unarmored Walter, that is, resulting in 40 sanity loss each hit. Not great, even with such a low level mob too. But the solutions are as simple as they come. To solve it, or at the very least put a bandage on the sanity hits, don Walter's Pine Tree Pioneer hat. The hat halves the sanity loss from the damage taken to our health. So with it, a 20 damage hit now equates to a loss of 20 sanity alone, instead of the typical 40 that would come otherwise. It's plain and simple, Walter players, just wear the damn hat. But not only that, put on some dang bloody armor too. With but a wood armor and the Pine Tree Pioneer hat, we can be taking a mere 4 damage to both our health and sanity. That's it. We haven't even gotten to the good stuff yet. Now I know what you're saying. It's only a dang spider beard, but 20 damage is still bloody 20 damage, which could mean 40 sanity gone instantly. And let us not forget that Walter only has 130 max health to begin with. Besides, we will be getting the bosses anyways, so no worries there. So for now, let us eat some garlicky balls of meat, shall we? Again, any dish with garlic seasoning reduces damage by 33%, so even an unarmored hit from a spider will drop from 20 damage overall to 13.3, which equates to a mere 26.6 sanity damage at the end of the day. Now, you should see where this is going. Place the Pine Tree Pioneer hat atop your noggin, and we will have even Stevens, as they say. 13.3 damage to our health, and 13.3 damage to our sanities, with garlic in play, that is. But proceed to put on even basic wood armor as well, and suddenly, spooters will struggle to deal but 3 damage, thus leading to a significant drop in sanity loss when hit, if you're even hit to begin with. 2.7 damage to both health and sanity, down all the way from 20 health and 40 sanity. And to think it's only gonna get better, put on a set of better armor, like a slab of marble for example, and the damage taken is so low that the health mod I use won't even bother to display the damage numbers. Marble suits are also cheaper to craft than they've ever been, so make note there. All this is achievable with any dish seasoned with garlic, the hat he spawns with, and even a simple set of wood armor. And it's pretty spectacular. But does it really translate to bigger bads? Sure does. Take tree guardians for example. Typically, these sentient piles of lumber deal just under 50 damage to the player, a significant hit for most, but devastating to Walter, of course. With his Pine Tree Pioneer hat, a wood armor, and some garlic in his belly, even the mighty trees will only deal a 6.6 damage hit overall. It's a huge difference, but if you're still not sold on it, just wait. We'll talk how embarrassingly easy Clops is in a bit. Cause we need to finally start going on the offensive. So bye garlic and hello spicy chili flakes. Spicy seasoned dishes increase damages by 20%, and this now includes Walter's slingshot. Where it once dealt a mere 17 damage, it rises to a whopping 20.4 with normal pellets. Gold pellets will see an increase from 34 damage at their base to 40.8 overall, which ain't too shabby all things considered. Marble pellets are next, and we'll see a jump from the already respectable 51 damage to 61.2 overall, just barely under a dark sword even. And finally, expect the same 61.2 damage to come from cursed rounds, only you know, the shadowy hentai may lend a hand with an additional 34 damage on occasion. Not bad for a simple seasoning, but it gets so much better. However, I still hear ya, so let's address it. Does this truly mean a difference against actual big bads? And my answer is simple. Yes. Walter promotes cautionary play anyways, so any increase to the damage of the slingshot, a thing that is keeping you away from bosses, is going to help tremendously during fights where you are primarily using it obviously. And the only sacrifice you'll have to make is just getting 1 to 2 shots off most of the time instead of risking 3 and all that sort of stuff. But these seasonings not only can be combined, Walter still has no penalties to melee combat, so why bother for some of you out there? Just eat something both garlicky and spicy, put on your trusty hat and armor, equipped even but a hambat, and you, as Walter, can tank deer clops with taking only 10 damage a hit and dealing 70 yourself. And of course, with all his sanity stuff in play, you're barely gonna notice a drop. So yup, the synergy is real, and it can still get better. But keep in mind, this is definitely where we enter the what if territory. But say hello to the legendary, Warley exclusive portable crockpot dish, Vault Goat Chaudfroid. This blue goo is bloody amazing. So much so, we have like 5 videos on it already. But what makes it so good? Well, how does 1.5 times more damage sound? This electrical jelly applies an electrical damage modifier to all damage, for 5 minutes mind you, and as a result, normal pellets move from 17 damage to 25.5 already. Gold rounds assume the base damage of marble rounds at 51 per hit, which again is already getting nuts at the end of the day. Marble pellets then rise from 51 damage to 76.5 each bonk, which is more damage than a dark sword for Pete's sake, at way less the cost. And finally, curse rounds offer the same 76.5 damage, only the shadow tentacles can add an additional 34 damage to the mix to bring totals close to 110 damage overall. So yup, good stuff. And yet, it somehow keeps getting better. Electrical damage jumps from a 1.5 time modifier to a 2.5 times modifier if the target is wet. So factor that in, and even normal pellets begin at 42.5 damage. So oh yes, hold on to your butts. Oh, you know, gold rounds here are already dealing 85 damage flat. No big deal, really. So, moving on. Marble pellets will top off at 127 damage per hit, which falls just short of a double damaged dark sword, essentially. And cursed rounds round us out with the chance to deal a total of 161 damage, with the shadow tentacles in play, mind you. Crazy nonetheless. But what if I told you that even this isn't our final form? Let's add spice to the jelly, shall we? With both modifiers at play. Normal pellets deal 30.6 damage overall. Gold rounds bring said total to 61.2 damage per shot. Marble pellets skyrocket that to 91.8 damage per not so expensive round. And finally, cursed rounds have a chance to bring our damage totals to 125 overall. But here's the thing, our target isn't wet. So a wet target combined with a chili flaked seasoned chawed fruit destroyed, coupled with, of course, Walter's slingshot, sees damages begin at 51 overall. That then climbs to 102 damage per shot with the mere gold rounds, for Pete's sake. Then a total of 153 damage per shot with the marble rounds. And lastly, the opportunity to deal upwards of 187 damage with the curse rounds and tentacles that follow. So my goodness gracious. The last half of this video is certainly a big what if, and I will not argue against that one. Although one cannot ignore how even the two basic seasonings can play so well in the Walter, especially the defensive capabilities that come with garlic. Heck, the stuff makes his sanity to health mechanic practically non-existent in most cases, and in others, it becomes insanely manageable. Even more so than it already is. But there you have it, everyone. The potential Walter and Warley synergy. And have fun. Thanks for watching, folks. Well wishes to all, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.